Welcome back to the Taproom Exclusive. I'm Dean Zarba. I'm here with Vince Rinaldo and Kyle Mullen. We are moving on to the I Milked a Cat Once Milk Stout. Love the name. Talk a little bit about the name for people who might not be in on the joke. And talk a little bit about the beer.
Yeah, this is Kyle's brainchild, if you will, but he can speak on it. But it's definitely a killer reference to a pretty solid movie.
Yeah, Vince told me we were brewing Milk Stout, so we were going back and forth through text message, just brainstorming names on it, and thought of Meet the Parents, and the classic line where he's talking to when he is meeting the parents. And we looked it up too, and when you think of something like that too, the first thing we do is we go on Untapped, and we're like, someone probably already did this. And I was actually surprised that no one had really made a reference to it. I'm like, we have to do this. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's always fun to try to come up with the name, but then there's always that instant of, oh, that's awesome, to, is this available, to, oh, it's not, and then you're like, oh, now I got to start back at the beginning.
Right.
So it's always nice to find that nice one that actually hasn't been. That's actually where I was talking to Ben Northheim at Collision Ben. That's out with Seatown, their IPA. They were surprised nobody had come up with that yet.
Yeah.
And all the different nicknames Cleveland has, you figured somebody would have named that before then. But every once in a while you just fall into one of those things that does that.
I think it depends how you posture your brewery. Like if you try to build something that has either locally based or anything like that, sometimes it gets tricky because there's a million locations that probably have similar naming for things, and so that gets tricky. But I think luckily having diverse interests like movies and music and stuff like that, we've been able to pull some silly references to hopefully make our beer names entertaining, if anything.
Yeah, people get a kick out of ordering them in the tap room too. It makes it a thing, husband and wife come in and they see it, puts a smile on their face, they laugh about it, they have fun ordering it through the bartenders. So
it's something to remember that like it's weird to say, but it's the small things that make make or break a visit to a place. And just even the smallest thing like that, like the fun name in a beer, could make someone come back again and again, just because they're like, I like going there and saying their names. That's a cool feeling too, to know people are embracing that.
And I hope it gives people a good impression of who we are. I mean, we're just a bunch of goofballs that are trying to, make your day a little bit better, have fun, relax, like just chill, have a beer, play some pinball, and hopefully forget about some of the stress that may be in your life. And that's ultimately what we try to offer here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a milk stout. We covered that. What's the profile on this beer?
This one's a little more unique. I was interested because the company that we get our grain from had this coffee malt, so I was kind of interested in looking at playing with that. So it's maybe a little less, chocolatey, maybe a little bit less roast, but just has kind of a unique kind of bite to it that I think some milk stouts don't typically have, and that's kind of what I was looking to play with and just seeing what that had to offer.
Differentiating yourself enough from the style that just to give it something different.
Yeah, and this is honestly maybe even just a one-off experimental beer just to see what that grain did. Yeah.
Now, do you like making stouts?
I do. I personally don't know that I feel like I'm the most successful at making stouts, but I feel like this is probably one of the better ones that I've made in my own view, but I'm sure you talk to other people, they'll disagree with me. But,
it's done really well in the tap room. I think we're surprised too, because we did a 6-barrel batch of this.
Yeah.
And it's gone really fast.
Nice.
This is a beer that we sell a lot in the tap room. Decent amount outside, but not as many people are buying kegs of it outside. It's just because they don't go through as fast and it'll sit on the line for a little while. But we've gone through it very quickly in the tap room, and I think we're a little surprised by that too, probably because it's a lower ABV. A lot of recent stouts we've done have been a little higher in ABV, so it's a little more sessionable than some of the other ones that are been in the 8s and 9s. So,
well, as somebody who doesn't normally gravitate towards stouts, that's a nice thing to see, is a 6% next to it. I know I'm not the normal stout drinker, but it makes me want to approach it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, if I drove down here from my place and then I got to go back, last thing I want to do is get too high in my beers. And sometimes I feel with stouts, they kind of just sit in my stomach a little heavier.
Yep.
And so I just don't go towards them. And I'm like, I don't want to. But this is strikes that nice balance of stout with that nice bite and the smoothness in the front.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I personally, I appreciate beers that have lower ABV because I like to drink beer, but I don't like to get out of control and being a new parent, trying to be a parent and not worried about getting too crazy.
Yeah, and to each their own. Like, I know a lot of people gravitate towards higher ABV beers, but I'm the same way. Like, I see a higher ABV, a lot of times it makes me steer away from it.
I'll try it at home.
Yes.
It's like if something I can maybe hopefully get in a package.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or, I can sit at home and just enjoy it there.
Right.
But unless I'm Ubering or something.
Yes.
It's not going to be something that I go for.
Yeah. My wife and I were out at On Tap eating dinner the other day, and they had Bourbon County on tap, and I was like, I have to get a 10-ounce pour of this.
Yeah.
But there's occasions like that where you have to do it.
It happens.
Yeah.
When you come across beers like that, it's hard to pass those. It's hard to pass that up. And I heard pretty good things about this year's.
It was great. I loved it. It was 15.4% though too. So again, it was, I had a beer before that. I had that. Then you're about good.
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody was to take this home and enjoy it, if you wanted to maybe do, would you do maybe dessert with this?
Yeah, that's kind of where my head was. With the holidays, just being around any chocolate or nice little cookie session would be enjoyable with this guy, I think. But yeah, that's funny. I guess I don't typically think about food pairings as much as
I've talked to a lot of people there's brewers who've told me they don't drink when they eat at all.
Yeah.
They if they want the flavor of the beer, they're going to drink a beer and not let the food mix with the flavor of the beer and vice versa. Everybody's different. So it's not unheard of to think that way or to kind of have it I don't always think of it when I drink a beer. That's not always my next thing is, hey, what am I going to eat with this? Yeah. It might be like if I'm getting a pizza or something, I'm probably going to have an IPA.
Yeah.
But it just depends on my mood really at the end of the day.
Yeah, the weird part for me is I tend to be somewhat seasonally drinking, but I feel like I go into dad mode beer drinking where I want something lower alcohol. It ends up being probably something like a Pilsner or low ABV Pale Ale or IPA or something like that. And I just have a couple and that's it.
Yeah. So you were talking about this was kind of playing around with a malt. How did it turn out in your opinion as far as the malt itself? Did you like how it kind of played with everything?
It offered some unique characteristics that I was pleasantly surprised by. It was, like I said before, I felt like I've never been quite nailing stouts or necessarily porters, but it was just kind of a nice tool to be like, okay, this is something I'd like to apply to this beer in the future and whatnot. And with the way this beer is selling, I feel like I'll probably do it again, maybe manipulate it a touch and kind of see where it goes.
Yeah, you were talking about kind of being like a seasonal drinker. This is perfect time of year for this beer to be on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes coming out in the middle of summer with a milk stout or something huge is a little weird, but there's an audience for everything all the time. There's a lot of people out there who don't think there's a season to drink specific things, and more power to them. Right. If we all drink the same thing the same way, there'd only be one way to do it. So
for sure.
Variety's fun.
No, for sure. We try to keep it as diverse as we possibly can here, because I know we tend to end up getting more IPA heavy at times, and sometimes I'd swing it back around to where I try to have a diverse range, just so anybody that comes in isn't totally turned off by, oh, you have all IPAs, and what am I going to do?
There's still a lot of people out there who do not like IPAs.
That is true.
And, we all like the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, my dad always likes to say that if you like Ripple, it's a good wine. So you know, you don't all drink the same thing. Let's enjoy what we do drink, and let's just share the experience.
Yeah,
together.
exactly. Yeah.
That's what I really like about your place. Is this is a place to come for an experience.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
There's just so much space to go. You know, it doesn't feel cramped. I mean, even on your busiest day, like how many people can you fit in here? What's your max capacity? You know,
Like legal, it's 240. I mean, that's
Does
I
it
think
get-
240 people in here still doesn't look like it's that busy because they're dispersed everywhere.
Right.
So,
and that's what I don't like going to places that sometimes you feel cramped in, or there's just you get 15 people in there and it's loud. And
Right.
Here it seems like everything kind of will disperse out.
Oh yeah.
And nothing gets too crazy one side or the other.
Yeah, and that's why this open feel, the tap room. I mean, we just we only have bar service. You walk up to the bar and grab your beer. It doesn't feel that bad even when there's a line here because there is so much open space. Like that's one of the great things about this building is how much space we do have. So we might as well use it all. And even on our busiest nights, it doesn't feel for someone that I don't really like being in big crowds a lot of times. I never feel like, oh man, it's overcrowded in here because it's so evenly dispersed. So
What's the square footage on here? 15,000, 17,000, somewhere in there?
it's a little over 15. It's between 15 and 18. I want to say. I don't know exactly what
Yeah,
it is.
I think because Bentry, the coffee roaster, occupies some space. So I think as far as what we occupy as MadCap, it's around 15.
Okay. Yeah, it's nice to see you got Bentry right next
Yes.
door.
Yeah.
You guys share a building.
Yeah.
You guys ever do a collab? On
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
This is like
Yeah.
one of the few times that
We don't have
have a
anything.
venture,
Yeah.
which we will. We're just kind of in between phases.
Yeah,
We usually
next
have at
week.
least one beer
Nice.
that has some of their coffee in it, which is great. We love
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah, no,
I've been
they're-
seeing coffee pale ales take off lately.
Yeah,
Been
yeah,
doing
it's
a big thing with those.
yeah. They have like a pretty incredible flavor profile, which maybe that's something we need to
Yeah.
think about in the near future.
Yeah, I'm not. It's so funny because I don't drink coffee plain. I don't like it, but in a
Okay.
beer,
You
I'm
enjoy it?
game.
Oh wow.
Like I just had Great Lakes just came out with the new Dunkelweizen.
Yeah.
It's cold brew coffee, chocolate, and orange peel,
Oh, fun.
and I was really blown away by it. I was like, okay, I can actually do this. It's all about balance. And
Yeah.
if it's not all coffee or one thing or the other, then I'm game. So it's nice to kind of expand and I can't explain why either. It's so weird that I just don't like coffee by
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, no,
But
I
it
get
is
that.
what it
I
is.
mean, sorry.
No, you're good. Anything else about I Milked a Cat once that I might have forgotten to possibly cover on this one?
I think that about sums it up.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this might be the first and last time, and or maybe we'll brew it again, but
Yeah.
in some variation of it. But yeah, I think this is a nice first shot for us on a milk stout.
Nice. I hope to see you guys do more of this. I really enjoyed it. And tune in next week for another all new episode here at MadCap Brewco.